Although, yeah, it sounds like something in the head. Welcome to MCM TV2. This is where the extra stuff goes. We blew up the Rav4 on the dyno, it made a big bang and it made a bad noise, and now we're pulling the engine apart. This is what you need to know. Isaac's here, plus a few other mates. Pete's here, James is over there somewhere. We're just hanging out in the Arvo, and we're gonna pull this Rav4 engine down. This is the one that went bang on the dyno. Straight away we noticed that it is sludgy. Look at that, that's a cam cap bolt. I mean, you can see the sludge on here. Look at it, it's just gross. So, no windows in the block, but the idea is to find out what's making the noise, if it's a bearing or an oil pump or whatever it is. So as we pump through it, I'll update you.
I think we found the start of the problem. I mean, this is the VVT intake camshaft has just literally eaten shit. Bearing,
How can you
not
tell?
much left of it.
There was supposed to be a bearing.
There's supposed to be a bearing there. So basically there's no oil clearance. There's no clearance left and quite potentially no oil to the VVT. And this thing just shat the bed.
Dude, it's bad.
We need to crack this open. Maybe that VVT gear actually failed.
Yeah, and then cams off, then we can do head starts.
Yeah.
And pull the head off.
Yeah, but like this would stop any oil pressure pretty quickly.
It is possible that we lost oil pressure and then this ate shit as well.
Potentially,
It didn't go for very long afterwards, like, you know,
did
maybe a couple of minutes. No, it didn't seize,
cool.
but we did have to like get off the dyno on that, so because we knew it was dead.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but there's first big issue.
Yeah.
It just smashed the thrust on it too. It's really a terrible engine.
Why?
It's just disgusting. Like who has such little mechanical sympathy? No, the
design of it's terrible.
It just looks like a K series. Like it looks very Honda-ish.
It does, doesn't it? My theory is this is Toyota's K24.
Yeah.
Just apparently like wall thickness not as good or whatever, but
yeah, not as beefy.
Apparently they're good.
But look at the size of the ports and everything. I mean, like 200 kilowatts should be a walk in the park for this. So something was pretty catastrophically wrong. So you've got to be thinking it's 177 horsepower factory, and then you're making maybe 300 horsepower. It's not unusual to see something double the horsepower. You know, for this capacity, like 200 kilowatts even isn't a lot.
No, I don't think 200 kilowatts is pushing it, because also that engine up there is Mitsubishi's answer, but a single cam.
And you make 230 kilowatts.
Which makes 230 on ethanol
right.
all day. So I figure that should be in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
And that's what a K24 would make, a stock one. No worries, with a turbo on it.
Yeah. The thing is, it's something dumb like its head studs or valve springs always let them down. They get to a point where they don't have valve control anymore and they just don't work.
They just die.
Yeah. But the Mitsubishi just kept living until like potentially lift the head just from maybe a bit of temperature and you know things. But yeah, Mitsubishi wins the battle so far.
It does.
30 kilowatts.
Look at that. I mean, look at the sludge, man.
Yeah, it's great.
That one's not sludgy though. Look, one. There's only one that's not sludgy. Two actually. 1, 2. Everything else, gross. We're hoping we can actually get it apart, but so far the head bolts are not that keen on cracking. So we've got a jack handle on the big breaker bar. It won't break with the DAC, so we hope to get the head off. Otherwise, it's just staying there.
All right, you guys hold it. I'm going to stay.
You get him?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, not happy.
Do you want me to go?
These ones are cranky. You're going to have to give them a big hit with something. They just look a bit strippy void.
So I just bring Miles to the yard as well. And that one is being a dickhead and won't come out.
Have something else?
10 milligram?
Big hammer.
Oh, big hammer?
Can we just cut it? Like,
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Let's just put it in the bandsaw and just go chop. Oh, sludge, dude.
is this the blown up one or the good one? No, this is a good one.
What's that? Is that sludge?
No, it's part of the cam sensor that I think I just...
Did it break?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
We needed that.
Dude, one.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Straight down. Go upside down. Chambers are good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That looks fine, doesn't it?
clean.
This is
Doesn't look like
you know
head
what's a
gasket
waste? The waste is combustion-wise. That all looks great.
Yeah.
It's just neglect.
Yeah.
It's just not changing your oil. That's what that is. Just crap everywhere. I mean, look here, even at the front, most sludgy thing I've ever seen, because you use the cover in the replacement engine.
Check this out. Check out the rock in the piston. She's a tired old girl.
Yeah, it's tight for sure.
Yeah,
But
like,
still,
see the rock, like that's...
But imagine if
that's
you change the
insane.
oil.
Yeah. Oh, it's excessive wear for sure, but...
All right, should we take the other side off?
Yeah.
See what we can see.
Let's get rid of
Just
this
comes
head
off. This is
gasket.
just some sound damage crap. Bye.
You might want. What do you reckon? We'll wind this start out.
I knew it looked underneath.
Going your record motor now.
Do you reckon it's got more than 150,000 pounds on it?
Absolutely.
That's what
Yeah.
apparently.
This was a wrecker
The
motor.
wrecker said that
That oil changed once.
it was the engine was done at 300k and the engine had 150k on it apparently.
Yeah,
Reckon?
right. Nah, heaps more. Just solid
Like
neglect.
sloping deck.
Yeah, the wrecking deck. Yeah, but you know, still make decent power
Yeah.
until they don't. Change your oil.
Beginning?
Go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was Yeah, that's the thing. It's fine.
Balance shafts.
Yeah, big.
So you can actually delete these. We'll pull them off. A big mod that people do. There's lots of metal in there, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Heaps
look
of
at
bits, and it was in the
Heaps
oil
of
too.
metal.
A mod a lot of people do is delete this, and you just block an oil passage, and it takes all that away. It makes the engine a bit more rough, but it apparently
Simplifies
saves you some, makes some power.
Try this one.
Yeah, a lot of metal in the oil.
Have you got a filter cutter?
I had one, but I don't know where it went.
It's a Toyota engine, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know yet. They're not meant to fail.
Even with boost.
The balance shaft assembly
The
is
balance,
crazy.
this is plastic. Or maybe on this model, but there's one that's got like a plastic.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a
Is it
sintered
like
gear.
an idler gear or something?
So look at that. It just looks like big cam weighty things. And that's it. They spin around. Cool, eh?
That's plastic.
Are they timed? They probably would be.
They lost oil pressure as well. Look at
They
the
did?
look at the camshells. The shells
Yeah,
on.
I mean, we did run it with basically no oil pressure to get it on and off the dyno and stuff,
These-
so it's hard to say exactly.
that's
We could get a picture, pull one of them out.
Good and broken.
I don't know.
But look how much sludge, man.
yeah.
We might have just done a bearing. It might be that simple. But we can pull this whole thing off.
Normally what happens when one bearing gets clogged up, it stops flow beyond that bearing to other components, so I guess we'll try and find the source. That shaft is fine though, I wouldn't be concerned about that. That might be debris that's come in and sort of pitted and hammered on it.
I have seen on the internet broken where these break.
The teeth.
Yeah,
broke.
yeah, just because whatever reason. But a lot of people remove that and then they plug wherever the oil feed is. Is that it there?
That's
Yep.
it there,
Yeah, so you plug that, you tap and plug that, and then you just run it without, and you get a bit of less rotating mass. It's just a bit rougher.
And it's embedded heaps of shit into the bearing shells too, but obviously that didn't happen when it failed. That's just happened over time, neglect.
I'll get
That's
it.
a few.
Here as well.
Yeah. Just so caked with sludge.
Do you reckon you got them?
So will you give it a go? Oh no, that's main
main
cap.
cap.
That's a
Main
main
cap,
cap, yeah. And then you think hidden bolt?
It's probably magnet.
Oh yeah, magnet got it up.
And then I was lazy, I was like, ah, it's in third, I'll just leave it there.
There you go.
Alright.
Why don't they
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
Okay, put that aside. Sit. Actual pay's good.
So why don't we have any oil pressure?
All we've found is the VVT so far. The actual pay's normal on all
Interesting
these.
that was dyed.
But thrust, we need the pry bar. Let's see what crank thrust we have.
So far it doesn't feel like there's a bearing problem.
No.
No, it's going to
It's
say
in
bottom
mag
end
noise.
seems
It's in
fine.
mag noise, which could have been the top end.
Yeah.
Oh, I did say at
Did
the
it sound
time.
like cam speed?
It sounded
half
like cam.
speed?
It sounded like cam.
Cam speed, half speed?
So far, I don't see any like big end bearing whacking around or anything.
No, not really. Bottom end looks pretty fine, just neglected.
So maybe it was the top end. Maybe it was that cam
Maybe.
bearing thing.
If it was half speed noise to crank speed,
Yep. Which means blocked, could mean blocked like line up through here, and then that thing was blocked,
well, that
and
was,
then it
that was blocked. The relief valve in here was completely
just
blocked.
full of grot.
Wherever that is still.
Yeah,
oil pressure relief valve
Yeah.
is somewhere there. Strangely, they run a filter on the oil pressure relief valve, which is really odd, right?
It's on
Yeah.
the other side of this, I reckon.
And so
You'll
we
see
were-
the main
we were
oil feed.
potentially blocked up here,
Yeah, this is it here.
and that caught, and then was making bad noises. But maybe it wasn't actually bottom end stuff at all. That's swell from drilling it out.
So yeah, one of the main oil feeds to the head,
Yeah.
and it was blocked.
Yeah, definitely.
But funny enough, the rest of the journals on the camshafts didn't actually have a bad time. It really just ate the first one.
Yeah.
Got magnets?
What's the theory, dude?
My theory is that it's just an old tired engine that hasn't been looked after, but we did find that the oil pressure relief valve was actually, there's a filter on it, it was clogged.
Right.
And also VVT solenoid and filter were clogged as well. So now we're just looking at the rod bearings, and you can see how much metal they've actually pushed out to the edge of the rod, so the shoulder of the rod there.
What's in that hole?
So that's meant to be oil supply to the bearing, and you can see here that that's actually full of babbitt, it's full of bearing material. So the bearing actually didn't spin, it actually lost oil supply. And you know, I've seen this in the past from where the cylinder pressure actually just can force the oil out of the bearing, and essentially, you know, you've got metal on metal. And
it's just chicken or egg as to whether the top let go, killed all the oil pressure, and then basically it was just a dumpster fire after that.
Yeah, it's funny, this looks a lot fresher than what that cam bearing did. I don't know if it had an issue before you even started.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because you've got all this black carbon and burnt oil blocked up in the relief valve and all the strainers, that indicates narrowing of the passages of the heart, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it was a heart attack waiting
Dude,
to happen.
this is cholesterol, man.
It's cholesterol, there you go.
Like, change your oil.
Yeah.
Seriously, turbo or no turbo, this was going to happen eventually.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
And
definitely.
now it's like seriously just launched. And these engines are about $2,500, so they're worth looking after, I reckon.
Interesting.
Especially as how hard the Camry one went hard.
Oh, yeah, it
I
was
kind of
great.
wish I'd kept it, but it was a bit hard to keep.
Right.
So.
And apparently they're very different, these two, like, you know, same architecture, but this is the sportier version of the same
fancy
engine. Interesting enough, all the rings are moving quite freely in their lands as well,
Yeah.
so there's so much carbon build up, but the rings are actually clear.
Bin job, hey.
Oh, hard.
Bin. Entire thing bin.
Yeah, it's no point saying
Yeah, bin job.
it. Lost the thrust. Actually, big boy crank.
Yeah, look at it.
Not too bad, actually.
So that just runs the balance shafts, eh?
Yeah.
That's all that does.
All the mains are
Yeah,
good.
but
All main
now
bearings are good, by the way. So bottom end was actually fine.
Yeah.
This stuff is just things that's picked up from not having oil changes, but there's nothing to worry about on main bearings. The oil shells are good, and they've not pushed any metal out. There's no.
But the other ones were cooked, right?
Rod bearings were,
Rod
but
bearings
they take all the load. Yeah.
There you go, people. MCM TV2 engine teardown with some mates. It's never as exciting tearing it down as you think it's going to be. I'm going to find something, and mate, no, it's just destruction. It's just a waste of metal and parts and thousands of dollars of engines. So the lesson to be learned in the takeaway is change your oil. That's it. $50 bottle of oil, a bit more often than you think you might need to, could potentially prevent that. But also, that's the risk with a wrecker motor. So thanks for watching.